Tonight, we're digging deeper into the forever chemical known as PFAS.
This has been an issue twice this year as the toxic firefighting foam made its way right into the Farmington River in Windsor.
And that is just the tip of the iceberg because the chemical has likely been in your home, and this really gets me, in your bloodstream too for years.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell explores the chemical crisis that many are saying will be this generation's asbestos.
Enegla Cola scrolls through her phone looking at pictures of her 2.5-year-old daughters Miriam and Vivian on the ground, learning how to crawl, eating pizza and getting shielded from rain. But experts say there's a good chance these everyday situations have one thing in common: the exposure to the cancer-causing chemicals known as PFAS.
Everything that we eat or we use, it can give, like on a long run, it can give side effects.
PFAS stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, they don't break down, not in nature and not in your body. They were introduced in the 1940s, but really got popular for their use as stain and water repellents.
So many people across the country are exposed to us. It's in everyone's blood.
Dr. David Andrews is the senior scientist for the Environmental Working Group.
And we're only now uncovering how widespread this contamination is.
And we're learning it is everywhere. PFAS is most dangerous when it's ingested or its dust is inhaled. Looking back at Enegla's pictures, the EPA says PFAS can be found in pizza boxes, stain-guarded carpets, water-repelling clothes, and everyday cookware.
PFAS describes the family of chemicals that are the Teflon and Scotchgard chemicals. So everywhere that Teflon and Scotchgard was applied, as well as numerous other places like firefighting foam. It's in fast food wrappers. These chemicals are really quite ubiquitous.
Again, because they don't break down, they build up in your blood.
They actually stick to blood.
And doctors say the effects can be subtle and slow to reveal themselves.
It's not going to cause you to instantly keel over and die, but something like increasing your risk of cancer is something that may not occur for 2 or 3 decades down the line.
The range of health effects run the gamut.
Increases your risk of testicular cancer, kidney cancer, possibly pancreatic cancer, as well as impacts the immune system, reproduction, development, high cholesterol.
Now, what may be scariest is the lack of knowledge. Experts say, for example, microwave popcorn is one of the biggest offenders, but when you go to the grocery store, you don't see PFAS on the ingredients list. So even the most well-intentioned consumer could be putting themselves at risk.
Most of the time, companies are not required to disclose whether or not they're using it.
Since doctors say the health consequences can be lethal and since PFAS is so pervasive, we wanted to know if there were federal regulations or legal limits on PFAS. Senator Richard Blumenthal's answer was eye-opening.
There is no real enforcement by the EPA against PFAS contamination. The industry has enormous power in Washington, D.C. The chemical companies and the makers of the PFAS foam have a good deal of sway.
But Blumenthal says as the calls for regulation get louder and more urgent, there is bipartisan support for a bill that would require the Defense Department and EPA to monitor and clean up PFAS.
We're going to come to realize that this public health failure is costing lives, and that is not just disheartening, that is outrageous.
Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Sure is eye-opening when you see that kind of report. You know, here in Connecticut, officials are looking right now into setting a standard for PFAS in drinking water.
In the meantime, if you want to protect your water, experts say a carbon filter like a Brita can slightly reduce levels. They say investing in a reverse osmosis system is actually a better route.